I want to know who made them for him, because I bet you he didn't. Hey Garden Maters, welcome to Corner Homestead. It's been a while since I've been with you, been a while since I've said that opening line. Lots been going on, won't go into it now, but I will say it is great to be back with you, and I look forward as always to spending time with you today. So about a year ago I ended up getting QVC's David Venable, his cookbook, The Half Homemade, Fully Delicious. I just recently was able to go through the book to see exactly what all is in there. So the first thing that caught my eye in his appetizer section, which I believe could be just a dinner, is his cheeseburger hand pies. They look really good. Not a whole lot of ingredients, simple everyday ingredients. Doesn't look like it's going to be too hard to make. So, you know me, I've got to try them, test them, and of course, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And you know me, I don't hold back. So, let's try David Venable's cheeseburger hand pies. See exactly how easy they are and how delicious they may be. Let's get started. Now you're going to need some ground beef, naturally. You only need at least 8 ounces of ground beef. I have about 1.5 pounds left in this package. That's what I'm going to use. And the only thing else you're going to need is some mayonnaise, some mustard, some ketchup, some relish, pickle relish. Doesn't matter if it is sweet or dill, whatever your preference is. Gonna need some cheese. American cheese is what the recipe normally calls for. I'm not gonna use American cheese. I'm gonna use triple cheddar cheese. I'm gonna use a supermarket shortcut, which is pie crusts. Both of the rolls of the 9-inch pie crust, room temperature. Optional is sesame seeds. You'll need those. But again, it's optional. You don't have to have them. I'm not going to use them because me and sesame seeds don't like the taste, don't like the texture. I don't even buy them on my hamburger buns. So you'll also need some salt. Kosher is best. I have kosher, but I doubt if I'm going to use it. And you're also going to need 1 egg that you can beat up. You got to beat that egg. Also optional in this recipe is onion. Now, you know me, I love onion. If you like onion on your cheeseburgers, then you're going to want to use the onion. If you don't want to put the onion in, that's perfectly fine too. And again, amount of how much you use is totally up to you. Let's get started. Into the pan goes my 1.5 pounds of ground beef. We're going to fry this until it is completely brown and crumbled. Brown and crumbly. That's what we want. So I have a 1/2 onion left over from what I used something from before. I'm gonna go ahead and dice it up. And I have a little tiny piece of a red onion left over. I'm going to dice that as well. Why are the red ones so potent? Well, like I said, these onions are totally optional. Now this is making a lot of grease. We're not going to be using the grease, of course. But while this is finishing browning, gonna go ahead and add all of my onion. Okay, so the meat is done. No more pink, but I want the onions to get a little bit softer. So I'm gonna let it cook just a little bit longer. Okay, I think this is good enough now. The onion is still a little bit hard, but it's okay. We'll finish cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and drain this because we don't want any grease. Okay, so I've drained as much as I could out of here. We're gonna add, you want just about a half a teaspoon of salt. So again, kosher salt is best to use, but it's not necessary. We're gonna add 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of mustard. You can use Dijon mustard, yellow mustard, which is what I'm using. Any type of mustard. And we want 3 tablespoons of relish. Like I said, I'm going to use the sweet relish. You can use any other type you want. Okay, mix it all together. Oh, I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. It smells so good. So the original recipe calls for 6 slices of American cheese. You cut it up into little pieces. I guess I'm not going to use that. I'm going to just use some shredded triple cheddar. I never really measure it. I just dump it in. But if I would have to measure it and give you a measurement, I would say maybe about a cup of cheese. But who can stop there? Oh, please. Cheese. So like I said, I don't measure. But that is about a cup right there, I would think. Yes, that's about a cup of cheese. So we're going to set this aside because we want it to cool. Now we're going to work on the pie crust. Okay, so let's unroll our pie crusts here. Just want to give it a little unrolling. We're going to use my pizza cutter. Cut it into 4s. Okay, so there we have our 4 pieces, but I'm going to go ahead and do my other pie crust as well because you want to do both rounds. That way I can just do all 8 of the pies together. So I want to lay these out so I can work on all 8 of them at the same time. Here we go. They're all laid out. I know you can't see part of them, but they're all laid out. Okay, so you want to take about 3 tablespoons, approximately, and put them into the center of each one of our little triangles. Might not get exactly 3 in, but we want to try to make them as full as we possibly can. Okay, put your egg into a little dish. Go ahead and give it a good beating. Beat it up. Those chickens don't mind. Beat them up. We want to brush the edges. This is where it's going to get very challenging. Brush the edges with the egg. And then we're going to fold. Somehow. Oh, and this one had to be one of the broken ones. I think there's entirely too much filling in here. So now why are you going to fold it over with that much filling in there? David Venable. This is not easy to do. No, it's not. It's messy. I'm going to take my fork and try to crimp down the edges. Whoop! Kind of figure I had to break it open. Well, that is not the prettiest pie you've ever seen. So once you manage to get it together, you want to lay it on a greased baking sheet. I have one just greased with cooking spray. Just going to lay it on. So now I'm going to do the rest of them. Lord help me. That is the hardest hen pie I have ever done in my entire life. It's a lot of trouble to go to. The filling, making the filling is extremely easy to do, but trying to get them in that dough and get it together into the hen pie where the dough is soft. Once you put the egg on, it's falling apart in your hands. Now I don't know if it's my dough, if it was it was from the store, it was brand new, it wasn't expired or anything like that. So I don't know why it just wasn't working as good. It just wasn't working as good as it should have been. The dough was soft and it was falling apart and it was just terrible. It took entirely too long to put them together. So there's easier ways, and I'm going to tell you how. Stick with me. I want you to look at this mess. This is the best one. These, oh my word. Okay. You know what? They are what they are. Let's finish them. You want to take your egg wash, or your egg, and you want to brush it over the outside. So you're going to bake these at 400 degrees for 20 to 22 minutes until they're golden brown. I'm not going to turn on my big stove and heat up the house for them. I'm going to put them in the caloric. I sure hope they taste better than they already look. After you put on the egg wash, the egg on the outside of the pies, before you put them into the oven, it is optional if you want to sprinkle on sesame seeds. That is when you would do it. Okay, Garden Maters, well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, they look terrible. Awful, just awful. Even after they were baked, they don't look no better. So, how are they gonna taste though, right? Oh Lord, please don't let it taste the way it looks. Okay. I don't like the crust at all. The pie crust does not work for me. It doesn't work. The filling tastes like a cheeseburger, but it doesn't taste right with this crust. It just doesn't. Come over here where it's a little lighter. So yeah, it's the same to me. It's the crust, like I said, just doesn't work with it. I don't think it works. It's not very good. Even if that filling was in a pie, I don't think it would be right. It just doesn't taste right. The filling is good. It definitely tastes like cheeseburger. But it would taste a lot better if you're just taking the filling and you're putting it on a hamburger bun. But even then, it's not something I prefer. I don't care for it. Tony didn't like it. He gave it thumbs down. Now, the recipe does say you can make a dipping sauce, which is some mayonnaise, some mustard, some ketchup, some relish. Mix it all together, and that's your dipping sauce. I chose not to make it because I don't think it would improve them. I really don't. I do not think it would improve them. Now, like I said, the filling is definitely got the cheeseburger flavor because it is cheeseburger. It's everything that goes on a cheeseburger. But being in a pie filling, or it just doesn't work. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. Now, as for the recipe being in David Venable's cookbook, it's amazing to me how pictures in a cookbook can look so good. And a lot of things you go to make just do not turn out like that. They just don't. So is it something that the kids would like? I think kids might like it a lot better than adults. I really do. I think a kid, a child would like it better. If you've got the patience to make it, bless you. I don't have the patience to make it. Not again. Not again. But I'm sorry, for this one I gotta give, it's just not that good. But I think there are ways to improve it. I think there are ways to make it taste a lot better. It's just something it's gonna depend on your taste, your family's taste. That's about all I can say. So thank you all for being with me. It's always a pleasure. I'm so glad to be back with you again, and I hope to bring you better recipes. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. Love to have you as part of the community. Love to watch the Garden Maters grow. So until next time, I love y'all. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm going to use the onion because we just love it so. I want to know who made them for him, because I bet you he didn't. I bet you he didn't. Look at that. My halo's shining today. Perfect angel. Gotta have that little bit of onion breath, you know. So we're gonna use our onion. Crap, I done forgot. What did I just read? Don't look at my mess. Don't look. Don't. See that? Don't look. Whoop! Don't look! I'm going to tell you right now, I will never make these again. Let's hope they're good, because they are a bitch to make. I'm so sorry. I actually think it's the worst thing I've ever done.